Luckily, they do have Sydney Parrish, who transferred in from Oregon, started every game last year, so it's not like she's afraid of this position, but still, not a full squad for Indiana. As the final day of the final edition of the Big Ten-ACC Challenge is underway.
Well, Teri Moren said when Grace Berger went down, it was 3 minutes into the game, so they had to make a quick adjustment. But they've had a couple of practices under their belt, but still, it's going to take some time for this Indiana team to adjust to that.
Teri Moren is such a great coach. We're talking 10 wins away from owning the all-time record for head coaching wins here at Indiana. She told us keys to the game include getting boards, winning the turnover battle, and not letting Deja Kelly drive the lane and draw fouls, which is something she does very well.
Absolutely, and Teri Moren had an experience with USA Basketball in June, and she was an assistant coach there, so she is spreading her wings all over our game.
There is Deja Kelly from deep to start things off for North Carolina. Kenzie Holmes, a little short on her first attempt of the day. Alyssa Usby takes it for North Carolina to an open Kennedy. Todd Williams, who gets a friendly bounce, and just like that, North Carolina, a quick 6. Courtney Banghart's the 4th head coach ever at North Carolina. She's in her 4th year, was the National Coach of the Year back at Princeton in 2015. She told us she really wants to prevent Indiana from getting threes because a 3 for IU feels like a 10 with the big crowd they have here on hand tonight.
Absolutely. She knows the environment that this is. Top 6 teams in the country competing.
And Courtney Banghart was telling us one of their keys was preventing Indiana from getting in transition.
They like to be aggressive on the offensive end. For North Carolina, they have to win the boards. They've got to get in there and get those second and third chance opportunities. They have a size advantage in there across the board, and they also need to contain the paint.
Look at Mackenzie Holmes.
There you go. Containing the paint. That was one of the keys for Indiana. Their keys, they have to be disciplined on defense.
Alyssa Usby spinning underneath, but way too strong, and there's Sydney Parrish with the board. Holmes inside, spinning with the left hand.
It's a grindhouse in that paint, and I don't care what people say, the game has become more 5-out motion. There's still some paint work to be done, and Mackenzie Holmes can attest to that.
This is Hannah Sandby. She comes off the bench hot with an early 3.
And that's her first triple of the season. She was 0 for 1.
Yes, very well.
It was a really good game. If you all saw that, you know what I'm talking about.
She's one of the 2 players that is going to be bringing the ball up now that Grace Berger is out. She alongside the freshman Yarden Garzone.
And top 10 in the Big Ten in assist numbers, just under 5 for her. And to have it taken away even for a game or 2 or 10 or whatever it is, that's a tough road, but not impossible.
Another foul on North Carolina.
Having an opportunity here on an empty possession for Carolina.
Sydney Parrish can capitalize. This is quite a Hoosier run.
And that's what they need. And it starts for Indiana on defense, although right there they had a miscue.
The 3rd meeting all time between these 2 programs, but it's been a long time. 3 ball from Todd Williams.
She had 17 points against Iowa State. All of those came in the second half. So she can come on strong and score in bunches for North Carolina.
Look at the deep 3 from Scalia.
And great leadership by the returning players who, like we said, went to the Sweet 16 last season.
Saw the graphic. There's some hot shooting for both teams. That continues with Usby inside.
No press from North Carolina. We may see that after some free throws. Man-to-man press is what Indiana has prepared for.
Parrish drives the lane and gets a layup.
Mentality on offense gets you good things.
Usby, they're going to keep going to her inside. She's very good in the paint. More McNeil with the dish and the finish by the Grant Senior.
Hard hedge there by Indiana defensively, just closing the door.
There's Sydney Parrish with the steal, down the lane, and the finish is no good. And Hodgson has it for North Carolina. Hodgson gets rewarded, and she is a lights-out shooter from deep. Second in the ACC at a 45% clip.
You have to meet her on the catch. When that ball is in flight, your feet better be moving her way to get a stick arm up to contest it.
That is back-to-back layups, no good for Indiana. In fact, this one an offensive foul. Miss Sandvik getting some decent playing time today. She's guarding Hodgson on the ball. Eva Hodgson at the line as a transfer from William and Mary.
She was third among all active D1 players with a career free throw percentage of 88. So, I mean, she has a great lift and flick on her shot.
There's the freshman yard and guard. Here's Deja Kelly. Top of the key, that's a long two, and it's good for Alexandra Zelaya.
It's a little bit too late for Indiana on that possession.
Scalia likes the deep ones. That's why. Part of the way that they were able to come back in it. But when we talked with their head coach about it, she said the problem is we weren't moving, we weren't settling.
So North Carolina needs to string together a couple of consecutive stops and then see what they can do on the other side. Indiana has been so forceful.
Sydney Parrish, smooth from deep.
And make some choices defensively. It's too easy right now.
Look at that give and go. More McNeil for two.
Indiana is clicking on all cylinders here at Assembly Hall.
This is the second run of double digits to nothing that Indiana has gone on.
Coming up empty on their offensive possessions. And they got the ball inside. They need to do that as well. They have to attack the paint against this Indiana team.
Zone with Usby guarding her. The freshman with the move. Big Ten Freshman of the Week for a reason.
Absolutely. And she is just so poised and composed. Your age is only a number. Or your classification is only a classification because she's ready to go.
Great find inside to Key for the easy two. And cold shooting for the Tar Heels continues.
The good defense for Indiana has also continued.
Great moves from Alyssa Geary. Often meant to give Mackenzie Holmes a breather and to play good defense, but she's got moves like that, she's going to get more opportunities on the ball. Three from Hodgson. Moore McNeil creates space. Moore McNeil had 15 assists her last 2 games combined. This time it's Yarden Garzone with the assist to Mackenzie Holmes. Sandvik's shot falls to Deja Kelly, who's trying to run. They haven't been able to get a ton of layup attempts. That one will count for Usby.
And you've got to bump those cutters and get close to the ball. And that time, Moore McNeil was a little bit too slow to get that done.
Sarah Scalia with the step-back three. Scalia's perfect. 3 for 3 from deep.
Insane. Oh, this Indiana team is letting it fly.
Key with good positioning on Holmes and an easy two.
Trying to be intentional with getting the ball in there. Teri Moren setting the table for the Hoosiers.
Shot clock at 10. Final 30 seconds of the first half. Moore McNeil for 2 and 1.
Berger with a little smile right there. You know that makes her soul smile to see her teammates coming alive.
As Lexus Bargesser enters the game. And the Tar Heels will look for something positive to end this first half on. Five seconds in the half. Usby with the second chance. North Carolina averages 82 points a game. They have 33 at the break.
where they're placing the pass so they can get those good shots up and in. They had such a fantastic showing on the defensive end as well. Scrappiness, contesting shots in the paint. And this is my favorite. Boom, give me that. Access denied by Moore McNeil. Oh, she's giving you more, all right. Oh, my goodness. She is just flat out tough.
Now, here's the thing to remember, and even though you and I were just here during halftime and not in the locker room, I can guarantee you what was said in both locker rooms. North Carolina is a second-half team.
Yes.
Their last 3 games, they were down at the half. They came back to win all of them, including the last game. They were down 17, which is more than they're down right now. And early on, a layup for Usby cuts that deficit right away.
They have just been ever present on every pass, making it extremely disruptive to get any rhythm.
Chloe Moore McNeil finds Sydney Parrish for 3. So why do you think we haven't seen much of Deja Kelly?
I think Indiana's done a tremendous job of finding her. And they're bringing, look at that hard head. She split it that time.
What a move by Kelly. And 1. Here's Hodgson finding motion, but again the rim too strong. Second attempt will rattle home for Anya Poole.
Went to the Elite 8 2 seasons ago. Sweet 16 last year. North Carolina, Sweet 16 team last year.
Behind the back pass from Garzone to Holmes, rolling it in and going to the line.
Boom, thank you.
The lead for Indiana is 17 points. 14 points.
Continuing to be the stabilizing force offensively for North Carolina. She needs some help though.
Team high 10 in the first half. Parrish wanted it inside with Usby on her. Floater is...
She was imploring the team and teaching the new ones what the expectations are. And there's nothing better than to have someone in-house like that understands it.
Todd Williams from deep.
And she's getting to her sweet spot. And she is producing it in an efficient manner.
Feed inside to Holmes for the answer. It rolls in.
Flat out tough by Mackenzie Holmes. Her experience, she told us, she said, hey, I haven't played one game without Grace Berger since our freshman year together. Except 9 from the floor for 14 points.
Another good give and go involving Moore McNeil. It leads to Parrish with a deep one again!
Out the services of a player like Grace Berger on the floor. She was a Swiss Army knife in terms of her skill set. Indiana has just come to play.
Deja Kelly.
Still fantastic spacing. Watch right here what Indiana is going to get from it. You see Mackenzie Holmes right there at the high post as a screen setter. And a ball reversal person at the top.
This is Parrish driving the lane. The left-hand layup is good and 1. Chloe Moore McNeil was the story in the second quarter. Sydney Parrish has been the story here in the third.
Indiana is still in the lead, and it's because they've been able to do it as a unit.
And why not have Sydney Parrish do that in the fight? Moore McNeil will inbound. Up top to Garzone. The deep 3 is good! We'll work on math skills in the break.
Oh, good. You got that.
Moore McNeil keeping it alive. So does Holmes. Swings around to Garzone. Still swinging. The 3-ball goes for Sarah Scalia. She is still perfect. 4 for 4 from deep. And a quick answer from Usby on the other side.
How about the extra pass and the swing on that last possession by Indiana? Just selfless. Giving up probably 2 good shots for a great shot.
Inside it's Holmes. Yes, and it counts. As Sarah Scalia tries to show her range, they have such a player who controls the pace.
Everything.
She controls the huddles. She scores, rebounds, gets assists, and they don't have her in this game, and they're playing just fine.
And it also speaks volumes to the Big Ten Conference in terms of iron sharpening iron when it comes to successful programs competing against one another night in and night out.
Mackenzie Holmes inside with the footwork. She's got 23.
Is Mackenzie Holmes once again getting the job done in the paint. But her teammates have done a good job of keeping that great spacing around her.
It's a hand and almost deflected that pass instead.
But boy, when you have all those shooters around Mackenzie Holmes, you got to be able to get that done.
Sydney Parrott.
She was grimacing and still is actually just trying to shake that off.
She's all alone under the hoop and they find her. Dodges a defender for 2 more points. Whether it's offense or defense, they need something fixed. They go to her.
And that's why you have to communicate. Like, she's the one. If there's a broken play, Teri Moren said, she'll fix it. She'll say, hey, you go over there. Set the screen right here. Like, she sets the table for this squad and is a leader. I love it, the fixer. Maybe she'll have that on a sweatshirt. She's got the Grace Berger sweatshirt on today. Maybe she'll get one with the fixer on it next time. You love it.
Lob feed inside to Holmes.
Oh, man.
15 seconds left here in Bloomington.
Still great discipline by the players who came in off the bench. You don't think they want to shoot that ball? But they're staying disciplined and playing with class.
The Indiana Hoosiers are no longer a program on